Richard here. So I've decided I think I might do something a little nutty, and I've been inspired by my friend Blake Fly, who has just completed 1,000 Facebook Live, 1,000 days of Facebook Lives. I remember I journaled quite a few times over my life and then stopped for various reasons. Not sure why, just stopped. But about 2 years ago, in fact it was the 1st of January 2021, I think, we were at Hopi, which is where we go every Christmas for our summer holiday, and we're going again there this year. Can't wait, we're there in about 3 weeks' time. And for some reason I just decided that I was going to start journaling, and I have journaled every day since then. And I mean, you can do the maths. I can't remember the exact number, but it's well over 700. I wish I could remember the number for you. Anyway, it's something now that has become a habit, and I love doing, and I just love sitting down and writing. And I've had quite a few people recently tell me that maybe I ought to get my voice out there and get my face out there. And so when I heard that Blake had just completed his 1,000 lives, I thought, wow, maybe that is something I could do. So I'm not promising that I'm going to do 1,000, although I'm going to make a start. And for those of you who know me and know that I'm all about encouraging people to make progress in their lives, and I do that through progress pods that we've created and using the Next Tiny Step process, I thought, well, with the Next Tiny Step method, I thought, well, what better way of challenging myself than just making a start? So here I am. And there are no rules for me, except that I need to go live every day on Facebook, and we'll just see what happens. This is an experiment, and this is just a tiny experiment where all I have to do is push the go live button. I'm not, at this point, I'm not planning on preparing stuff. I'm just going to chat and tell you about what I'm thinking about. So I guess that is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, I wonder what it's going to be like to do a Facebook Live every day for as long as I can. As I said, I'm calling it the Fly 1000. It's a bit of a play on words with, the racing scene where they have, in Australia, they have the Bathurst 1000, they have several other races which have, is it the Baja 1000 as well? I love that off-road stuff. So here I am, I'm going to try the Fly 1000, which is essentially 1,000 days of Facebook Lives. I haven't even looked at the date that I would complete that at. It's going to be interesting. I am so fascinated to see what happens in me personally, and I hope that you'll get lots of benefit out of this. I have so many things to talk about that I've had my friends and those in the memberships that I'm in and in the masterminds I'm in have really encouraged me to get my voice out there, and I think this is probably the simplest way of doing it. So one of the things that's just happened recently is that we've just completed building a piece of software called progresspod.io, and it's a cool piece of software. It's been a massive project. It's taken about 1.5 years to build. But what I discovered was that I've got so focused on doing that, I had kind of forgotten, or at least stopped communicating why I was actually, or why I'd actually built this piece of software. And recently, I was challenged to read again Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And his whole thesis of his book is basically that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I suddenly realized that I've stopped talking to people about why I do what I do. And that is simply, it's simply amazing that I managed to get myself so sidetracked, because what I needed to get done, the actual tasks of the day, became important and to somewhat urgent. I mean, building a piece of software is a big task, and we've completed this stage. The piece of software is at the stage where it's out there in the world and people are using it. helping people set up small groups, what we call progress pods. It's made it so much easier for them to do that, and that's fantastic. But what I realized is I'd forgotten to talk about why I actually built the software. And so reading Sinek's book again, Start With Why, I've come back and started to ask myself, why did I do this? Why did I get into this? What am I about? What am I passionate about? And why am I passionate about those things? And I've realized that I am passionate about seeing people make progress. I am passionate about people understanding or realizing, the word realize is a word I use a lot, realizing that we all have way more potential than we realize that we have. You know, you have way more potential than I think you realize. And I guess my whole why in life, my reason for being here, is to encourage people to realize their potential. And even if that's just one tiny step at a time. And so that's where the Next Tiny Step method came from. I really encourage people just to think about what it is they want to do and just take one tiny step towards that each day. And the smaller the better. In fact, the steps should be so tiny that it's almost impossible for you to come up with an excuse not to do it. And there's a lot more that I'll talk about about that over the next little while. I guess the next 999 days maybe. We'll see. As I said, there's no rules. This is just the start. This is just point one. So Blake, I really want to thank you for connecting with me today. It was a big surprise. It was phenomenal. Big shout out to you for that. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that you took the time to connect and say hi. And I think it was the inspiration I needed and the encouragement I needed right now just to take the step and go live. And we will see what happens. It's going to be pretty interesting. So, you know, if any of you have any questions or any thoughts, or you want me to talk about something, or you're fascinated by why I'm doing this, or any of those things, you know, just reach out, comment, DM me, whatever. I just want to have this conversation, and I want to see what happens. This is kind of an experiment, and we'll see what happens. So, without further ado, I'm going to sign off this one, and I will be back tomorrow. Don't know when, don't know quite where I'll be. I might be back in the garden here again. This is the garden at my home. We have a look round over my shoulder. There's my home there, and I don't know whether you can see down in there, but my daughter and granddaughters are there, and I love having them around. Absolutely fantastic to have them here. So there you go. Nothing more to say at this point, except thanks for tuning in for those of you who did, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.